Hey, what's going on, everyone? Welcome back to another video. Sorry I've been away. My wife and I took a cross-country adventure. We went from Vancouver to Toronto. We also went to Ottawa, Montreal, a few other places in Quebec, as well as Niagara Falls. And then we took a train basically halfway across the country and then drove the rest of the way back to Vancouver. So this video will be a quick overview of our trip and a few other updates on the stock market and popular ETFs that I missed out on over the last few weeks. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. Thank you for subscribing. Please go ahead and hit that like button, and I'll quickly do an overview of the trip here and then jump into some stock related news. So you guys can see here, basically we went all the way across the country. We had never been to the East Coast before. We went from Vancouver to Toronto and basically started here in Vancouver. This is the Richmond Night Market. Highly recommend checking it out if you get the chance. It was very cool. Lots of vendors, lots of really unique food options, music, a lot of stuff going on. That kicked off our travels, and from there we landed in Toronto. And in Toronto, of course, we had to see the tower, but we also saw some really amazing skyline views, huge skyscrapers that you just don't see anywhere else. It's just such a big, bustling and busy city, especially for what I'm used to. Even compared to Vancouver, it is just so busy. We did go down to Bay Street. I wanted to kind of get a look at all of the big financial buildings. This here is the National Bank building, the Royal Bank. I don't know if this is their headquarters, but just massive buildings. And, we invest in these companies through ETFs and things like that. And when you go there and you actually see the scale of things, it's quite interesting, especially in the big cities like Toronto, where basically every center, like every arena or centers and things like that, are all named after these big companies. They had these unique banners up. This one says opportunity. It was down on Bay Street. I thought that was pretty cool. Walking around down on Bay Street, again, super busy. Here's a Shopify building, just a shot of the front. Got a shot of the Canoe Financial building at the Exchange Tower on King Street. And maybe someone can tell me what this weird 3D head is about, but this is like the main stock exchange. They had a Global X banner up there. So got that as well. We were down there on a weekend, so everything was basically closed. I thought this was interesting because it was across from the stock exchange and it says Daymax for parking. So I thought that was interesting and kind of funny, but you guys can see these massive buildings. Just thought it was cool. Here's a TD building in the back and a CIBC building up front. These banks just have huge towers. A Scotia building here. This is the Toronto Stock Exchange with a cool old school style stone frontage on a big skyscraper. We've got the National Bank Financial, another BMO building. And then we went to Niagara Falls. I highly recommend Niagara Falls if you have the chance to go. They've got some great viewing spots and lookouts. We went up a big tower, got some cool shots. It was really quite an amazing thing to see. Saw some cool monuments in Ottawa, as well as the Parliament buildings. The weather held up. It was quite nice. And we did go to Montreal for a few nights. It was very busy because there was hockey playoffs going on. There was the F1 racing going on, but they had the F1 cars out on the streets, the old school cobblestone style streets you can walk down, sit in cafes. Just a really cool experience. I'd never been to Montreal before, and I very highly recommend going if you get the chance. This was a Red Bull party. They were giving out free Red Bulls and stuff like that. And here's a shot of the viewing wheel. They just had so much going on. So such a cool city. We did some hikes and saw some skyline views. A lot of really cool architecture basically everywhere you go. Just really cool buildings and architecture. This was just a random spot in the mall. They had a DJ and people were dancing and stuff like that. It was just something going on everywhere you went. This is the Maestria building. I just thought the architecture was super cool with these giant buildings that have like a sky bridge connecting them. And then we went to the gardens. They had some really cool parks and gardens you could go to as well. Just beautiful, beautiful spots to go. So much to see and do. So on the way back, we actually took the train from Toronto to Winnipeg. This is up in the viewing car. This train went all the way through Northern Ontario, and you get to see some pretty cool and unique views that you wouldn't see really anywhere else. This train goes places that there really isn't even roads. So you get to see some very unique views and lakes and just a lot of beautiful scenery. If you have the time, I do recommend it, although make sure you get a bedroom or a private room on the train. They book up super, super fast. And if you're doing any type of length on that train, believe me, you want a private sleeper cabin. So this is Winnipeg. We got off the train in Winnipeg and stayed here at the Fort Garry Hotel. Highly recommend it. Beautiful, beautiful hotel. And we left the hotel, and the next day we were driving just outside of Winnipeg, and there's like this reptile garden. And I figured I'd just show you guys these photos because they had a 600-pound crocodile, or maybe an alligator, 600-pound, just kind of in the middle of Manitoba. Anyways, I thought it was interesting, so I figured I'd share it. Lots of different lizards and reptiles in there. Thought it was kind of cool. Way to sort of end the journey. So we drove through Manitoba and Saskatchewan, and we saw the world's largest teepee in Medicine Hat. Just a little tidbit of information. They have the world's largest teepee, so something to check out. And then we ended our journey in Kelowna, the Okanagan Lake, and basically that's where we are looking to relocate to from Alberta to the Okanagan. This was actually up on top of a building that we went to look at, a condo, beautiful rooftop pool with a view of the lake. So we'll see. We're looking at relocating out of Alberta and into the Okanagan, Kelowna area. That's the plan. So that'll be another life update for another video. Anyways, you guys, that's a quick overview of the travel. As far as the markets and what's been going on, the S&P 500's basically up at 7,600. Things have been going pretty well. Still lots of volatility. I mean, if you look in the news, there's always something about an Iran deal or the war is ending or it's going. Oil is still high, things like that. And as far as bigger news, Hamilton ETFs is launching a Bitcoin Daymax ETF. So that will be part of their Daymax lineup. There isn't really too much information on this one, but I think if you hold an ETF like BCC or BCCL from Global X, like I have, I would probably be interested in swapping it into the Daymax from Hamilton because I really like that strategy. I think it works well. And then maybe the biggest news for some of the big popular ETFs would be HYLD and HDIV bumping up their distributions yet again. So shout out Hamilton ETFs, HDIV and HYLD, two of my favorite income ETFs. Anyways, you guys, sorry I've been away. I'm back now. We'll be back with a portfolio update video very shortly. Thank you so much for watching. Thanks for subscribing. Please go ahead, hit that like button, and I will catch everybody in the next video.